Guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to take you through an application that I built, trying to demo it so that people can actually understand how to navigate the application. So the application is basically a node scaffolding, like it's for node scaffolding, and it's basically generates a project based on entities that one creates, right? So this is the um, how it looks, right? Shout out to React Flow. They are the guys who made this happen. We are using their library. We built on top of their library to use their canvas and their workflows. So yeah. So first of all, let's try and change the name of the application. Let's call it Node, or nah, not Node. Uh, well, yeah, let's just call it Node. So we have a course configuration over here that you can just go through and add your origins, the allowed methods. Yeah, you can just configure your course over here, but we are going to check that out later. So let me save, and we can see that the project name is now Node. So let's go on and let's add an entity. So clicking on add an entity creates an empty entity where you can change. So let's change this and let's call it user. So this is a user entity. My backend guys already know where I'm going with this. If you want to add a new property, you can add a property over here. You can what should we call this property? Let's call it name. Let's add a new one. Let's call this email, and as we all know, we're going to add a password. All right, so there we have what, an entity. Let's click on this, and this will give us expand on the properties. We can add validation rules. We can add allow for null values. Let's add a validation rule for the email. Let's say what's the validation email. So let's save this. Let's create another entity. This entity, let's call it post. Let's add let's call this name. Let's add another one, description, and yeah, let's add another entity. Let's call this comments. All right. Let's add another one. Let's call this name. So yeah, comments only have name. So how does one do relations in this? So basically these edges here, you can just hold and drag and drop, and now you have what, the parent and the child. So this is for configuring the foreign keys between users that are linked, entities that are linked. So how do we create a link? You click on this drop down and you select either one to one, one to many, or many to many. So let's use one to many, and let's say post also what has many comments. So let's one to many. So all the edges that are below are the parents, and all the edges that are above are the children. So if I decide to create an edge over here and start from here, bring it down here, you see this is the parent, this is what, the child. You can also delete an edge. You can delete an entity. So let's delete that. All right, so there we have it. We have what, this all over here. So now that we have our setup done, we can what, generate a project, and this will generate and what, download the zip version of our project. So why don't we go into our project and see what it entails? So let's double click on this. So we have this. All right, let me get my VS Code open. Let's open a folder. Let's go to downloads, and we have node, yeah, node 1. So as we can see, this is the base version of our project. We can see that we have our Prisma schema over here, generates the Prisma schema. We have the controllers for each one. We have, yeah, and we have a lib, we have the comments, posts, user. These are all the routes, and we have the services for each one of them. So to get all these errors out of the way, let us run npm I, and we have what a readme that basically tells you how to use your generated code. So let's npm I, and that should install all our dependencies. So let's wait for a few minutes. So while we wait for the dependencies to get installed, the one thing that one will need to do is to create a Postgres SQL database, whether locally or on the cloud. And because this application is basically using Node, TypeScript, Postgres, and Prisma, right? So you create your Postgres DB, and you put that DB connection string over here. So you know what, I have a DB. I already have a DB, so let me just go open a new and go into my DB. Let's go code as the personal backend. Let me just grab a DB connection string that I have over here. All right, I have this over here. I think, yeah, everything is done over here. Let me put the connection string over here, and yeah, I can now start. So now that I have everything in place, I can run npx prisma db push, right? And that should connect to my database. I have pgadmin here, so let me check, let me refresh this, and let's see if we have, okay, so we have comment, post, user. Fantastic. And I don't think this exists, so let's check. Okay, it's empty. So yeah, so now that we have everything in place, we can run npm run dev to run the application. Okay, so our application is running at port 3000. So let me copy this, and let's test run on Postgres. I say Postman. All right, so we already have tests. These are tests that's during development phase I was doing. So let's look at our routes. So let's look at the user route. We have what these. Let's take a look at the app. So we have what API user. So let's go into Postman API user, and let's look at our types. It's supposed to take name, email, password. All right, so let's pass in the name, email, and the password. So name, let's call it Richmond. Yeah, that is my name. And let's say the email is also Richmond. And this is just to conduct a test. And let's call the password database. All right, so it says what, validation field. So the email validation that we did initially here, where we set email validation to email, those validation checks are in there. So we have to actually put in an actual email.com, and then this. So there we have it. It has created a new user, and we can create a post, we can create a comment, and this is just a few minutes of just moving a few things around, right? So I believe this is the end of my video. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to put my details down, and you can hit me up. If anybody wants to be part of this project, I'm trying to get it to be open source. If anybody wants to be part of this project, you can hit me up, and we can get this project going. So thank you, and I'll see you when I see you.